Welcome back, deep divers. Ready to level up our knowledge.
Always up for a challenge.
Today we're diving headfirst into the world of video games and how they've transformed over time.
It's more than just a trip down memory lane.
Exactly. It's about understanding how those changes reflect shifts in our culture and tech, maybe even a little bit of ourselves.
I like that.
First, a quick reality check. You might be surprised to learn that 65% of adults in the US are gamers.
That's a lot of controllers.
And the average gamer, 35 years old. Not exactly the stereotype, huh?
Times have changed. Games aren't just for kids anymore.
So what's fueling this enduring fascination? What can the evolution of popular genres tell us about how gaming has matured?
Well, it's like this. The popularity of genres has ebbed and flowed, almost like a mirror to what's happening in the world, you know?
Interesting. So it's not just about the games themselves.
Right. It's about what they say about us as players.
Okay, I'm hooked.
Yeah.
Let's get specific. What genre reigns supreme?
My bet's on something action-packed.
You'd be right. Action games take the crown, snagging nearly 20% of all game sales.
Makes sense when you think about it. The fast reflexes, the split-second decisions, that adrenaline rush.
It's primal.
Totally. Whether it's fighting, shooting, or navigating those tricky platforming challenges.
Action games just hit different.
They do.
Speaking of iconic action, let's rewind to the 80s. Arcades, those early consoles.
Ah, the golden age.
What was the gaming landscape like back then?
Well, the 80s were dominated by action, no doubt.
It was the era of game changers, right?
Absolutely. Games that set the stage for everything that followed. We're talking Super Mario Bros.
Timing those jumps perfectly.
Exactly. Or Metroid, with its sprawling world begging to be explored.
Those games weren't just button mashers.
Not at all. They took skill, strategy, a whole lot of patience.
It's amazing how they captured our imaginations with such simple graphic.
The power of good gameplay.
Absolutely. But as technology advanced, consoles got more powerful, new genres emerged. What shifted in the 90s?
The 90s. That's when things got interesting. Sports games actually surpassed action games.
Really?
Yep. NBA Jam, FIFA.
Cultural phenomena. Everyone wanted to dunk like Jordan or score that World Cup goal.
You got it.
That's a curveball I didn't see coming.
Do you think the rise of the internet had anything to do with it? That craving for connection?
You could be onto something. The 90s definitely marked a shift toward more social gaming.
Right. Online multiplayer was still in its early stages,
But the idea of competing against friends or strangers, that was taking off.
fascinating. Okay, so we've got action in the 80s, sports in the 90s, this rise of online play.
It all builds on what came before.
But what about those genres that dominate the headlines today? Like first-person shooters, when did they explode?
FPS games, they've got a history stretching back to the 80s, but they really hit their stride in the 2000s.
That was the Halo and Call of Duty era.
You know it, revolutionizing the genre. Graphics, gameplay, online multiplayer. And that brings up a question that comes up a lot, right? The potential psychological impact of all that virtual violence.
Like a complex issue.
No easy answers.
Right. The research, well, it's all over the place.
So some studies link FPS games and aggression.
But others point to potential cognitive benefits, like improved visual attention.
It's nuanced, for sure.
You've got to approach it with a critical eye. There's no one definitive answer.
Absolutely. Now, to help parents navigate this, we have those rating systems, right?
Exactly. The ESRB, the Entertainment Software Rating Board.
They came along in the mid-90s, right?
Yep. To provide a standardized system, from E for everyone to AO for adults only.
Taking into account violence, language, themes.
All that good stuff.
Makes sense. But the research also revealed some interesting trends in how genres and those ratings have evolved over time. What stood out?
One thing that caught my eye was the decline of tier-rated games, those intended for teens.
And at the same time, a rise in M-rated games for mature audiences.
Yep, during the 2010s.
Oh, what's going on there?
It makes you wonder, are developers pushing the boundaries of mature content? Are they targeting older audiences?
Or are our attitudes towards violence in games changing?
Good question. Maybe the rating system needs to adapt to keep up.
Because, speaking of adapting, the research also pointed out some inconsistencies in how games are rated, especially when it comes to FPS games.
Yeah, this is where things get a little messy.
Because you've got those popular battle royale games heavily featuring shooting.
Intense player versus player combat.
But they're not rated M.
Some are even rated E for everyone.
What?
Right? It really raises questions about the whole rating process, the subjectivity, you
Yeah.
know.
Are those criteria being applied consistently? It makes you wonder. Shooting games rated E for everyone, it really highlights the complexities of categorizing games in a way that's informative and fair.
And games are getting more and more complex.
Exactly. It's a moving target.
It is.
But let's shift gears for a moment. Let's talk about RPGs.
Role-playing games. Classic.
They've come a long way from those early text-based adventures.
Tell me about it. They're so rich and immersive these days.
From those early days to the sprawling open worlds.
The character customization.
It's mind-blowing.
It really allows you to step into someone else's shoes, to experience a whole other world.
I remember getting lost in those classic RPGs for hours, crafting my character, exploring dungeons.
Battling epic bosses.
Exactly. It was like stepping into another reality. But how has this genre evolved? What are the big innovations that have shaped the RPGs we play today?
One of the biggest changes has been the move toward more cinematic storytelling.
It's like playing an interactive movie.
You said it. Early RPGs relied on text and dialogue to tell the story.
Right.
Now you've got elaborate cutscenes, voice acting, motion capture.
Creating these truly immersive experiences.
It's a whole other level.
And speaking of blurring lines, what about the rise of survival horror games? They seem to tap into something primal.
Oh, they do.
They play on our deepest fears, don't they?
Isolation, vulnerability, the unknown.
It's powerful stuff.
And they often force you to make tough decisions.
In those high-pressure situations. Testing your limits.
Exact.
I remember playing some of those early survival horror games. Terrified.
Oh, yeah.
The atmosphere, the sound design.
Those jump scares.
It all worked together to create a truly unsettling experience.
Yeah.
But how have these games evolved? What makes them so compelling today?
I think it's the way they've incorporated psychological elements and puzzles.
Oh, right.
Modern survival horror games really delve into the minds of their characters, exploring themes of trauma, guilt.
The fragility of the human psyche?
Exactly, and they challenge you with these complex puzzles.
It's more than just jump scares and gore then.
Oh, much more. They're engaging players on a deeper level. And they've blurred the lines with other genres too, right?
You're right.
We see survival horror elements creeping into action games, RPGs.
Open world games.
It's a fusion of genres, leading to some amazing games.
That's what I love about gaming. It's constantly evolving, finding those elements that resonate with us on a deeper level.
It really is. Whether it's that thrill of action, the storytelling in RPGs, or the tension of survival horror.
There's something for everyone. But what does the future hold? VR? AR? The metaverse? The possibilities seem endless.
The lines between virtual and real are blurring, it's true.
Imagine stepping into a game world that feels as real as our own, interacting with characters as if they were really there.
It's mind-blowing. But as we head into this new territory...
We need to be mindful, right?
Absolutely. We need to think about the ethical implications.
How do we make sure these technologies are used responsibly? How do we address concerns about things like motion sickness? The psychological impact of spending so much time in virtual environments.
All important questions.
We need to proceed with caution.
But the potential benefits are massive.
Right. Education, training, therapy.
Even social interaction.
It's a tool that can connect us, foster empathy, expand our understanding of the world.
Powerful stuff.
And while we explore the frontiers of virtual reality, we can't forget about augmented reality, AR.
Right. It's different from VR, which immerses us in those fully virtual environments.
AR overlays digital content onto our real-world surroundings. How is that changing gaming?
AR has the potential to blend the digital and physical in fascinating ways. We're already seeing AR games that encourage you to get out and explore.
You're interacting with virtual objects in real spaces.
Exactly. And you can collaborate with other players in these shared augmented environments.
It's like bringing those fantasy worlds into our own backyards. I can see it now. Kids chasing virtual creatures through the park.
Families playing an augmented board game.
It's exciting. AR could really break down those barriers between gaming and the real world.
Blur the lines in ways we never thought possible.
It could make gaming even more social, more integrated into our lives.
And it could change education, healthcare, the way we work.
It's incredible to think about. These emerging technologies are shaping the future of gaming and beyond. But as we delve into this uncharted territory,
it's crucial to remember that we have a responsibility to guide these advancements in a way that benefits all of us.
We need to work together to make sure the future of gaming is inclusive, enriching, empowering.
It's a collective effort. Gamers, developers, policymakers, everyone.
Well said. This deep dive has been an incredible journey, exploring the vast and ever-changing world of gaming, from those early pixelated adventures to the mind-blowing experiences of today. And as technology advances, the possibilities really are limitless.
Limitless is right.
And as we look to the future, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on one final question. What's the most important lesson we can learn from the evolution of video games?
That's a good one. I think it's that games are a reflection of ourselves.
They show our creativity, our ingenuity.
Our desire to explore, to connect, to push the boundaries.
It's a powerful reminder. Games are more than just entertainment.
They're a form of expression, a mirror to our culture, a window into what might be.
They can challenge our thinking, expand our horizons, connect us in ways we never thought possible.
They can indeed.
It's amazing, really. Games can transport us to these incredible worlds, yet they also hold up a mirror to our own reality.
They reflect our anxieties, our hopes, even the ethical dilemmas we face as a society.
Speaking of challenging perspectives, let's dive into simulation games. They've come a long way from those early text-based simulations.
Oh, absolutely. They're so detailed and immersive now. You can manage cities, build empires, pilot spaceships.
Even experience life as a goat.
The Goat Simulator, a classic.
What drives that appeal, though? Why are we so drawn to stepping into those roles?
I think it's that desire to create, to experiment. You see the consequences of your choices play out, but in a safe space.
It's like a sandbox for our imaginations.
Yeah.
No real-world repercussions.
Exactly.
But then you have strategy games, which are all about real-world consequences.
True. Whether you're commanding armies or managing resources, it takes planning, calculated risks, thinking ahead.
It's a mental chess match.
Totally. Always anticipating your opponent's moves, trying to stay one step ahead. But strategy games have evolved too, right?
Oh, yeah.
We've gone beyond those turn-based formats. Real-time strategy, MOBAs.
Blending strategy with other genres.
It's innovation, but it's also that desire for familiar experiences, you know? We want something new, but we crave those core elements. The challenge, that sense of accomplishment, the joy of discovery.
And that's the beauty of it, isn't it? Gaming is constantly pushing boundaries, finding new ways to engage us. It's full of potential.
It really is. And speaking of potential, we have to talk about virtual reality.
VR, right.
Yeah.
It's been around, but it feels like we're finally seeing VR experiences that live up to the hype.
It has the power to create these incredible immersive experiences, unlike anything we've seen before.
You're stepping into a world that feels real, interacting with characters as if they were physically there.
The ultimate escape. But it does raise some questions, doesn't it?
How do we make these immersive experiences accessible to everyone?
How do we address motion sickness? Or the psychological impact of spending so much time in VR?
It's a new frontier.
It is. We need to be cautious, ethical in our design.
But the potential benefits are huge.
Education, training, therapy, even social interaction. It's a tool that can connect us, foster empathy, broaden our understanding.
And as we venture into VR, we also need to consider augmented reality, AR.
Right. Different from VR. Instead of immersing us in a virtual world, AR overlays digital content onto our real world.
It's blending those worlds, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we're already seeing it in games.
Games that encourage you to explore your surroundings.
You're interacting with virtual objects in real spaces.
And collaborating with other players in these shared augmented environments.
Exactly.
It's bringing fantasy into our backyards. I can imagine kids chasing virtual creatures through the park.
Families playing an augmented board game together.
AR could make gaming even more social, more a part of our daily lives.
And it could have big implications for education, healthcare, the way we work.
These technologies are shaping the future. Gaming and so much more. But as we go deeper into this uncharted territory,
we need to remember our responsibility. We need to guide these advancements in a direction that benefits everyone.
It's a team effort. Gamers, developers, policymakers, we all have a part to play. This deep dive has been incredible. From those pixelated beginnings to the amazing experiences we have today, games have come so far. And with technology constantly evolving, who knows what the future holds?
It's an exciting time to be a gamer, that's for sure.
It is. And as we wrap up, I'm curious, what do you think is the most important lesson we can learn from the evolution of video games?
That's a great question. I think it's that games are a reflection of us.
Our creativity, our drive to explore, connect, and push the boundaries.
Exactly. They show us what we're capable of.
They challenge our assumptions, expand our horizons, connect us in ways we never thought possible. Games are more than just entertainment. They're a powerful form of expression, a mirror to our culture, and a glimpse into the future.
And it's up to all of us to shape that future, to choose wisely, to play with purpose, and to create a world where gaming continues to inspire, delight, and connect us in meaningful ways.
This deep dive has been an amazing journey. Thank you for sharing your expertise and insights with us. It's been a pleasure diving deep with all of you. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep playing those games that spark your imagination and make you think. Until next time, game on. It's not just about the games, it's about us.
Yeah, reflecting back at us.
We've gone through decades of gaming history.
From those early days to the immersive worlds we have now.
We've seen genres evolve, how technology has changed things, and how games have become such a big part of our culture.
It's pretty amazing.
But as we enter this new era of gaming with VR, AR, and the metaverse, it's worth asking ourselves, what kind of future do we want?
That's a big question.
It is.
I think we need to approach these advancements with a sense of wonder, but also with a critical eye.
Right.
We need to think about ethics, about the risks, and how these technologies can be used to connect people,
To build empathy and understanding.
Exactly.
It's about making sure the future of gaming is inclusive and benefits everyone.
And creating experiences that challenge us and inspire us.
And bring us closer together.
For sure. And recognizing that the power to shape this future isn't just with developers or big tech companies.
It's with all of us.
Every gamer who picks up a controller, puts on that headset, or steps into a virtual world has a part to play.
That's a good point. We're all part of this story.
And the choices we make today will shape the games we play tomorrow.
So let's choose wisely.
Let's play with purpose.
And create a future where gaming continues to inspire and connect us.
To delight us.
Well said.
Yeah.
This deep dive has been incredible. I want to thank you for sharing your knowledge with us.
It's been my pleasure.
And to all our listeners out there, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep playing those games that make you think.
There's always something new to discover.
Until next time, game on.